Greetings my friends and welcome to No Nonsense Metal Reviews. I'm George. Today I'm back with yet another bands you need to hear recommendation. Another band that if you've never heard of these guys, never listened to their music, then you really need to rectify that. You need to check these guys out because you're missing out on some top quality metal. So the band in question is actually not too distant from where I am, fairly local in the grand scheme of things. A band from Cambridge, from here in the UK. A band that's been around since around 2019. They've got 2 full-length albums under their belt so far. They've toured or played with numerous high-profiling bands, actually, over their rather short lifetime. There's a few additional releases there, splits and bits and pieces like that. However, these guys have been working hard and they've been really putting in the legwork and they've produced some cracking old school but modern death metal. And I am of course talking about the mighty Celestial Sanctuary. Showing off here, debut album, Soul Diminished. Lovely vinyl form. Actually got this recently, a little birthday present to myself. A lovely album, a truly fantastic band in fact. So the name obviously originates from a particularly brilliant track on the Fourth Crusade album from the legendary UK death metalers Bolt Thrower. Absolutely cracking band, absolutely brilliant. So I came across this band by catching them live. In fact, I'd heard the name. I think I'd heard bits and pieces, utterances here and there, but caught them at the Norwich Epic Studios a few months back. You may have seen the review of the Obituary headline show. Celestial Sanctuary were the sort of local openers for Obituary, and I was really impressed. Really impressed. It was that kind of modern interpretation of just old school death metal. We've got some real originality there, but they're not necessarily trying to reinvent the wheel or remake the wheel, whatever. This is death metal, but this has a unique originality to it. And I do love this vinyl as well. I'll quickly show off the beautiful colouring here. So we've got a cool insert as well. Very old school lyric insert here. Very freaking cool. And of course, I always say it, I do love a nice bit of coloured vinyl. And that's a very attractive kind of purple and blue vinyl we've got going on there. Very cool indeed. Very nice. Released through, I think it's Church Road Records. You can get a number of Celestial Sanctuary articles from their particular web store. So, talking about the music then, I know I've mentioned a few times that this is kind of modern death metal, or modern take on old school death metal, and I think that's a fairly fitting description. However, they do have their own kind of sound and style here. There's consistency between the 2 albums. As I've indicated, they've got a couple of full-length albums under their belt. I'll just show off both articles. So we've got our debut album here, as I mentioned, Soul Diminished. And then we've got the most recent album. Great title, Insatiable Thirst for Torment. We have here the CD incarnation. Awesome stuff. And I believe this was out, 2023. So this is from this very year, in fact. Awesome design on the actual CD as well, on the actual disc. Freaking cool. And there's the local boys, Celestial Sanctuary there. Looking very traditionally death metal. So we've got Jay on bass, Matt guitars and vocals, Tom vocals, guitars, and James on drums. So there's the guys. 2 absolutely solid albums. You can get the album in multiple formats, and I will show that off. So this is my recent edition, the nice vinyl version of the album. You can also acquire a rather pleasant redux version of that album, Soul Diminished, which contains a whole load of live tracks, live versions of tracks from this album. And if you're a real collector and a real diehard, then you can also pick up a rather lovely colour there. Really gross green cassette of the 2023 Redux version of Soul Diminished. Lovely. I love the old school look there. Very traditional, very cool. Yeah, just awesome. And as I say, this is an awesome album. It's a good mix of that kind of, I want to say, like quite creepy death metal. It's got that kind of spectral, haunting vibe to it. Certainly in the vocals, they are very set back into the mix. It's very, very kind of creepy. It's haunting. It's chilling stuff, but it's freaking great nonetheless. So, bands that I would liken them to, I'm not going to say they sound like so and so. They sound just like blah blah blah, because actually, as I say, Celestial Sanctuary are a really original band. They've got their own sound, but it's a good mix of modern death metal in terms of bands like Grave Miasma, Spectral Voice, or Blood Incantation. There's a little bit of the kind of Coffin Mulch in there as well. Another, younger band, up and coming. There's a bit of Tomb Mold in there. It's just a solid mix of modern, old school death metal, if that makes sense. So on this particular beauty of an album, and it is a great album, it's somewhere in the sort of 35, 37 minutes mark. We've got a couple of absolute belters. We kick off with Rid the Gormless, with its putrid, fat riffing. You get some great titles as well. Really brilliant titles. As I mentioned, Rid the Gormless, a particularly brilliant one. Wretched Habits, solid as a rock, bludgeoning, barbaric riffs. You get that kind of Neanderthal pummeling drumming going on there, and guttural, throat eradicating vocals. Suffer Your Sentence is a weighty beast of a track. You get some colossal riffs in that particular number. Really the sort of skull imploding stuff. Really knuckle dragging, head smashing sort of stuff. You just can't help but headbang along to. Mass Extinction, another brilliant one. Endless Chasm. But to be honest, start to finish, this is a really solid album. What I do appreciate about both of these albums is the fact that they flow so kind of seamlessly. There is distinction between tracks, definitely, but it's got such a good flow. Just like the good old school death metal albums, like the real favourites, that just kind of flow pretty seamlessly, start to finish. So that's Soul Diminished, and I would definitely recommend checking out the Redux version, because you do get some really good live takes actually. Maybe by that point they hadn't quite got enough live material for an album, but you wonder if they could have actually released it maybe as a, I don't know, like a live EP or something. Definitely would have been worth it, because it's good live takes, definitely. So that was Soul Diminished, of course. On to the second album, most current, Insatiable Thirst for Torment, with that awesome artwork. Again, it's around 40, just over 40 minutes mark. Absolutely freaking awesome. Couldn't help but pick up this as well. You have to delicately lever the insert out of the case there. A beautiful tape copy as well. Nice red shell. Again, this is from Church Road Records. Definitely recommend checking them out, because they've got some cool little things on there. If there's anything left in stock, that is. I think this was quite a limited number, or a limited run. Really cool. I haven't actually listened to the tape version yet, I'll admit, but the CD has been getting plenty of play. Some really great tracks on here, though. Absolutely fantastic numbers. We open up with The Great Trapped Within the Rank Membrane, a 6-minute plus bruiser. We've got a bit more sort of technicality there. You can tell that as a band, as musicians, they've kind of evolved a little bit in terms of maybe maturity, maybe just capability. I don't know. There's definitely, it's a notch up. I'm not going to say it's better, because I think that has such a organic, original brilliance to it, that first album, Soul Diminished, but this one, there's a progression there. There's definitely a progression. I think that's very fair to say, meaning no disrespect. We've got the brilliant Glutted with Chunder, which is a fantastic song name and an absolute belter of a track. These riffs are absolutely glorious, and the thick kind of low-end bass tone. You've got that, as I say, caveman battery of the drums, and you've got those creepy, unsettling vocals. Swivel-Eyed and Gurning in the Shadows is brilliant. One of my favourite tracks on the album is definitely Biomineralization, Cell Death, which is a solid track. Again, we've got more of a progressive element there. It's intricate stuff, a total monster of a track, full of killer riffs, just delightful stuff. Other particular standout belters, we've got the lurid glow of a dead burning body. Unquenchable thirst and gutted with a blunt blade. Start to finish, this is flawless. This is right up there, top quality, solid, spectral, spooky, gross and gory death metal. Definitely one for fans of bands like Undeath, another up and coming band. For fans of Grave Miasma, fans of Tomb Mold, maybe. Yeah, just really good, solid death metal. So check them out. Fairly local boys, as I say. Celestial Sanctuary, leading the way, pioneering with their rather brilliant, absolutely crushing death metal. And definitely check out Church Road Records or check out the band's Bandcamp page, I believe, because I think you can get, well, last time I checked, you could still get copies of the CD or the tape. But check it out and pick up a few treasures. Not to be missed. An excellent up-and-coming death metal band. And if you do get an opportunity to catch them live, I don't know of any upcoming events, certainly nothing that's local, but I would definitely catch them if you get a chance because they deliver the goods in the live setting as well. Very, very solid stuff. So, thanks for watching, my friends. Do check out Celestial Sanctuary. Don't miss out. And don't forget to check out these particular ditties. Thanks for watching, my friends. Please do feel free to like and subscribe. Let me hear your thoughts and opinions on Celestial Sanctuary. Are you a fan? Are you a convert? Have you never heard them before and absolutely mind blown? I'm sure that is the case. But thanks again, my friends. Do check back soon. Do take care of yourselves. And as always, stay heavy.